Hello everyone, thanks guys for coming, and today we're going to be programming Snake onto our Ti-84 Plus CE, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. So I'm going to press program to run my Snake game. I'm going to press enter twice, and it's basically zeros is the body of the snake, and then the star sign is the food. So every time you eat food, the snake will grow longer. And if you hit the edge of the screen or run into yourself, you will die in this game. And just a quick pause, if this video gets 100 likes or more, by Christmas of 2021, I will be posting a bonus video, so if you guys want to see that, go ahead and hit that like button for me. And I do have to say that when you hit 200, you will win the game. I will also be posting the download and the source code in the description, so if you guys do have any tough times or if you just want the program, just go ahead down the description and everything will be there. And also don't forget to check out my Pong game program if you haven't seen that already. I'm going to be posting the link in the description and in the card up above, so if you guys haven't done that already, go ahead and check that out after you finish this video. So this is a program that I actually programmed myself to help you guys understand more about programming. There's actually a lot of Snake games. I'll post the link in the description. It's called chematech.net, and there's a lot of games on that website, especially Snake. Alright, so the first thing you guys need is obviously your calculator, and you need something called your brain. It's up here in your skull. If you don't have a brain, I'm sorry, you can't complete this. So the first thing you guys are going to need to do is you're going to press the PRGM button right there, and you're going to scroll over to new, and you're going to press enter to create a new program, and you're going to call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Snake. So there we go. Alright, so there's Snake right there for you guys, and then when you're done typing in the letters, you can press enter. Alright, so now we are in the program editor, and every single line is displayed by a colon. So as you can see right there, there's a colon right on my calculator. And what we're going to do is we're obviously going to start programming. So this program is about 64 lines, but the first 10 of them are super easy, and maybe only about half of them are quite long. So in total, you maybe have about 20-ish longer lines, but it's alright, you guys. This is a whole Snake program. Who said Snake was going to be easy? Alright, so the first line is my favorite, personal favorite. So you're going to press the program button to get to that menu that I just displayed, and you're going to scroll over to I/O, and you're going to scroll down to number 8, clear home. That basically just clears the home screen, makes the program look nice and clean. To make a new line, you're going to press enter, and our next line is going to be 0 store G. So you're going to type in the number 0. You're going to press the store button. So the store button is about right there, STO. Alright, and you're going to go ahead and press that button. And then you're going to type in the letter G. So the G is alpha and then tangent. If you guys don't see that right there. Very easy line. And about the next 7, 8, 9 lines are going to be storing variables, just because, you know, you need variables to program. Without variables, programs are useless. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to type in 1 store C. So 1 store and then the letter C, which is alpha program. The next line is going to be 1 store S. And I'm just going to go a little fast. You can pause if I'm going too fast. I'm just going to go a little fast since these lines are a little shorter. Alright, I'm going to do 3 store X, and then we're going to do 3 store Y, and then we're going to do 3 store V, and then we're going to do 3 store U. And I'll explain all these variables right when I'm finished. And we'll do 2 store D, and then we'll do 0 store... Oh, hang on. I wasn't looking at my calculator here. Alright, so we got 3 store U, 2 store D, and then 0 store T. There we go. Alright, so those are all the variables. I'll explain each one so you guys aren't totally confused. So G, that is the get key command. For those of you who know how to program, you know what that is. If this is your first program ever, congratulations. That basically is just the value of the button you're pressing. C, that is basically the death boolean. If you don't know what a boolean is, it's basically like the true and false statement. So 1 meaning you're alive and 0 meaning you're dead. Alright. S is the score, self-explanatory. We're storing 1 into the score. X and Y are the coordinates of the snake. V and U are the coordinates of the tail, and then D is the direction of the snake, which is very important, and then T is the tail boolean. So basically what that means is that meaning it's telling the program if the tail needs to be shortened or longer. That's pretty much that. So let's go ahead and make the next line. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to delete matrix A. Let's do it. So we're going to press second, and then we're going to press 0 all the way down at the bottom, and that gets us to the catalog. And then you're going to press X minus 1, all right, and that will get you to the D's. And then you're going to scroll down and to the delvar command, and you're going to press enter. And there we go, delvar. That stands for delete variable, and we're going to be deleting variable matrix A. So second matrix, and you're going to press enter on the first one. We're going to delete variable matrix A. That's just every time we program Snake, we're going to make sure that, you know, we're not. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a matrix now. So we're going to do an open curly bracket, which is second open parenthesis, and that's open curly bracket. And then we're going to type in 10, comma, which is right above 7. And you're going to type in 26, and you're going to store that into dimension, which dimension is second, and then X minus 1, which is the matrix menu. You're going to scroll over to math, and you're going to scroll down to number 3 dimension right there. And you're going to type in matrix A. So second, X minus 1, and then enter. There we go. If I'm going too fast, then you can pause the video. And I'm also going to be posting the source code in the description. So if you have made it this far, congrats. Source code is in description if you want to know. There we go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a for loop. So we're going to press program, and you're going to scroll down to number 4, which is 4, you know, kind of rhymes. All right, and what you're going to type in is you're going to type in the letter F, comma, 1, comma, 5. And what a for loop is, it's basically a repeating loop. And the way I have this set up, it's going to repeat about 5 times because it's going to take the variable f, it's going to turn it into 1, and every time that it goes through the loop, it increments by 1 until it hits 5, if that makes any sense. All right, so now we're going to have a random integer command. So you're going to press math, you're going to scroll over to probability, and you're going to hit number 5, which is random integer. And the lower is going to be 1, and the upper is going to be 10 right now. And then you can press enter, enter, enter to paste it. All right, and you're going to store that into the letter O, so alpha 7. You can press enter, and if you do want to save 1 byte, which is amazing, you can actually delete closing parentheses because arrows automatically close every single parenthesis up until that point. So just nice little thing to know. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do random integer. So math, probability, random integer, and it's going to be 1 and 26, and we're going to paste it, and we're going to store that into P. All right, and then we're going to do 5, and then we're going to do store, and now we're going to do matrix A. So second, X minus 1, which is matrix, and then enter for matrix A, and open parenthesis, and then O, comma, P. So what that's going to do is it's going to store the value 5 into the matrix A. All right, so a matrix is an array of variables. All right, and the dimension is 10 by 26, so it's a pretty big, it's basically the size of the screen. And what it's going to do is it's going to store the number 5 into, it's going to take a random number on each part of the array, so O and P, and it's going to take 5 and put that into the random coordinate. So, and that's going to be the food. So yeah, it's a lot to take in, but the number 5 in this matrix is going to be food in this program. All right. So our next command is going to be output. So we're going to press program, scroll over to I/O, scroll down to output, and we're going to type in the letter O, comma, the letter P, and then comma, and then we're going to do the asterisk, which is the multiplication sign, and that's going to output the food at that point. There we go. And then, easy line, we're going to press program, scroll down to number 7, enter, end. So that is actually that loop right there. So what this does is it preps the program to put all the food onto the screen. We're gonna have 5 pieces of food on the screen at once, so that while we're playing the game, we're not dragged left and right constantly to get food. We can get food, you know, maybe 3 blocks away or 7 blocks away. All right, now we're gonna press enter. Now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. This is where the game will actually be running the entire time. So we're gonna be using a while loop. So press program, scroll down to number 5, while, and type in the letter C. And like I said earlier, that C is the death boolean. So it's going to determine whether the snake is dead or alive, basically. All right, and we're gonna type in the letter and, not type it in, we're gonna get it from the menu. We're gonna press second, we're gonna press second, math, which is test. Scroll over to logic and press enter on and then we're gonna type in G, and we're gonna type in not equal to, so second, math, and scroll down to number 2, enter, and 45. So that is the death boolean, and then G, remember, is the get key command. So 45 is actually the number that's assigned to the letter clear, the button clear. So when we press clear, it will actually kill the snake, sadly. But that's just in case you want to leave the program early. Right, so now this line is we're gonna be outputting the snake. So we're gonna press program, scroll over to I/O, scroll down to number 6, and we're gonna type in Y, comma, X, and then comma, and then we're going to type in 0. All right, so what that's going to do is it's actually going to display the head of the snake. So Y is the Y coordinate of the snake, X is the X coordinate of the snake, and it's going to display a 0. There we go. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a if conditional. So we're going to type in program and then press enter on if, matrix A, so second, x minus 1, matrix A, and then open parenthesis, y, comma, x, and then closed, and then say greater than 1. So greater than is second, math, and then number 3, greater than 1. Press enter. We're going to press program, go into number 2, which is then, enter, and we're going to say s plus 1, store s, so s plus 1, store, which is above the on button, and s, there we go. And that's actually going to take 1 and add it to the score. That's very self-explanatory. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to type in 0 store t, so 0 store t. When 0 is stored into t, it's actually going to make the snake grow by 1 visually. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to use another while loop. So press program, scroll down to number 5, while, and we're going to say matrix A. So second, x minus 1, matrix A. All right, and then we're going to say open parenthesis, O, comma, P. All right. And then we're going to close a parenthesis, and we're going to say not equal to, so second, math, number 2, not equal to, and then we're going to say 0. What this while loop is going to try to do is it's going to try to put new food on the screen. So we're going to do random integer, so math, scroll over to probability, number 5, random integer. The lower is going to be 1, the upper is going to be 10, paste it, and then we're going to store that into O. And then we're going to do random integer, so math, probability, random integer, and the lower is 1, upper is 26. We're going to paste it, and we're going to store that into P. Press enter, and then we're going to say if, so program, enter, matrix A, and then open parenthesis, y, comma, x, close parenthesis, does not equal, so second, math, and then number 2, 5, and we're going to say or, so second math, logic, or s is greater than or equal to, which is second math, and then number 4, and then 200. And then press enter, say 0, store, C, enter, and then program 7, which is end. So what this is basically doing is it's trying to, it's going to basically put new food on the screen. And the reason why it says doesn't equal 0 is so that the food doesn't fall onto the snake, because that's annoying in a snake game when the food falls on you in certain snake games and you can't go back around and get it. That's very annoying. So what this is doing is preventing that. And I will go into a much in a later video. I'll go more in depth into the snake program if you want me to. Just post down in the comments if even one of you guys want me to explain the snake program more in depth. I will upload it for you guys. So just post that into the comments. And then what this conditional does, it says if matrix A doesn't equal 5 or S is greater than 200. Basically what that is doing is that it's checking to make sure the snake isn't running into itself, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but 5 is the value of food on the matrix. And if it doesn't equal 5, which means it's part of the snake, it's going to end the program. Which you can see it says 0 store C, that means the snake is dead. And then 200, just because, you know, the snake dies from long age, but the snake game will win when you hit 200. So it's going to kill the snake, but you win. So there we go. All right, now press enter. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to type 5 store and then matrix A. And then I'm going to say O and then P. There we go. And on certain programming lines, you don't have to put the closing parenthesis, because when the program gets compiled for when you run it, it actually skips over that, so you don't even need it. All right, so then now we're gonna press program, and then we're gonna go to output, right there, and then we're gonna type O, comma P, and then comma, and then we're gonna type in the asterisk right there. Oh, not the X, the asterisk, which is the times. And basically that's just outputting new food. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna type in end, so program and then 7, which is end. All right, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to do the get key commands. So, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Get key, what it's going to do is it's going to ask the user for a certain key press, and we'll go from there. So press program and then scroll to I/O, scroll down to number 7, which is get key, press enter. And we're going to store get key into G, so store G. All right, now we're going to say if, and then we're going to say G equals 24, so G, and then second math enter, which is equals 24. And we're going to say and second math, and we're going to scroll to logic, and D does not equal 2, so second math, and then does not equal 2. Press enter. We're going to store 4 into D, so 4 store D. There we go. So that is basically saying if G equals 24, which is this key, and D doesn't equals 2, which means that the snake isn't going forward, then it's going to turn the direction into 4. So if the snake is going up and down, then it's going to make the snake go that way when you press the left arrow. And then, like I just said, the D doesn't equal 2. It's just making sure the snake can't go back and eat itself, because I know some snake games do that and it's a little annoying. All right, so now we're going to say if, so program, enter, and then G equals 25, and D doesn't equal 3. And you can pause the video, like I said, if I'm going too fast. We're going to store 1 into D. This part's a little tedious, so I'm just going to go through it. And we're going to say if G equals 26 and D doesn't equal 4, enter, to store D, enter, and then if G equals 34 and D doesn't equal 1, enter, 3, store D. So basically what this is all doing is it's basically asking the user for an arrow key press, and whichever arrow it presses, it's going to make the snake go in that direction. So 1 is up, 2 is right, 3 is down, and 4 is left. And then obviously the D conditionals over here prevent the snake from eating itself. All right, now press enter. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do, since that part is over, all right, so now we're going to do D, and then store, and then matrix A, So matrix A, and then open parenthesis y, comma x. And what that's going to do is it's going to store the direction of the snake into the matrix value. All right, so now press enter. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to do implicit conditionals. I know it sounds like a fancy word, but basically I will explain what this means as I go along. So we're going to type in x, and we're going to say plus, open parenthesis, d equals 2, and then close parenthesis, and then minus, open parenthesis, d equals 4, d equals 4, close and then we actually don't need to close parentheses since we're using store, and then type in x. So when I type in the next line, I'll basically explain everything, and then y plus d equals 3, and then close parenthesis, minus, open parenthesis, d equals 1, store, and then y. So these are called implicit conditionals. So it's basically an if command condensed into a very small amount of space. Basically it saves space and it saves time. It makes the program run faster. And basically this in here, it's basically going to add 1 to x if the direction is 2, and it's going to subtract 1 from x if the direction is 4, and it's going to store it into x. And the same thing with y. So it's going to add 1 to y if d equals 3, and it's going to subtract 1 from y if d equals 1, and it's going to store that into y. If you want me to do a video on it, I can just post it in the comments below. And if it is uploaded, I will put it in the card in the top corner, so go ahead and check that out if it's there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to type in a fairly long line. I will explain as we go along. So we're going to use if, and we're going to say y is greater than 10, and we're going to say or, so second math logic or, and then y is less than 1, and then we're going to say or x is greater than 26, and we're going to say or again, and x is less than 1. So what this is doing is it's checking to make sure that the snake is staying inside the screen the entire time. If it goes outside the screen, it will cause an error, and this prevents the error and just throws that the snake is dead. All right, and we're going to say 0 store C. There we go. Now we're going to press enter. All right, so now we're going to output. So press program, I/O, and then output. And then we're going to say v, comma, u, and then comma. And then we're actually going to do a quote, which is alpha plus right there. And we're going to type in 1 space, so alpha 0. So that is a space for you guys. All right, so now press enter. And that's going to output at the tail a space, so that, you know, the tail doesn't look like it's infinitely long. All right, so now we're going to say if t equals 1, then, so program, and then number 2, then matrix A, so second x minus 1, which is matrix, right there. And we're going to say v, comma, u, and then store that into k. And now we're going to press enter. I'm going to do 0, store matrix A, and then v, comma, u. All right, so that basically is the tail. These are the tail coordinates, and it's going to store that into k. I will explain what k is in a short bit. And then we're going to store 0 into the tail coordinate. If we don't have this line, the program will keep thinking that you will run into yourself even though you're not. All right, so now we're going to type in the next line. The next line is u plus, and then k equals 2, and then close parenthesis, minus, and then k equals 4, and we're going to store that into u. Press enter, and we're going to do v plus, open parenthesis, k equals 3, close parenthesis, minus k equals 1, and this also looks like a right there. So open parenthesis k equals 1. And you guys have probably recognized that these are more implicit conditionals, and these implicit conditionals are for the tail. So basically it's saying that if the tail direction is 2, it's going to add 1 to u. If the tail direction is 4, subtract 1 from u. And then same thing with v. U and v, remember, are the tail coordinates. Alright, so we are almost done with the program. We maybe have about 10 lines left, and half of them are optional. Alright, so now we're going to type in the letter end. Not the letter, we're going to type it in from the program menu, and right there. Now I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to say 1 stored t. Press enter, and now we're going to say end again, so program, and then 7. And this ends this t equals 1 conditional, and then this end actually ends the while loop of the actual snake game. So now we are towards the bottom of the program. Alright, if we don't have this end, the game will not run. If you want to try it out and do it, you can, and the game will actually not run. So, alright, so press enter, and now we're going to clear the home screen. So I/O, and then clear home. And now we're going to output a few words. So we're going to say program I/O, output. We're going to say 4, 5. So remember, that's the coordinate it's going to output it at. And we're going to say comma, and I'm going to type in game over. So I'm going to do the quotes and then game over. And if you want to put your calculator in alpha lock so that you don't have to keep pressing alpha, press second alpha, and now it's in alpha lock. So you could just type in game over. Alright, and I pressed alpha again just to turn it off. Press enter, and we're going to say if s is greater than or equal to 200. So all of this, after this clear home, these lines are all optional, but it just makes the game look nice and neat. And it gives you your score, if you're interested in that. So now we're going to press enter. So if the snake's body is equal to or longer than 200, we're going to output you win. So program I/O, output 4, 5, and then you win. And then I'm going to put 2 exclamation points. If you don't want to type in the exclamation points, then just put 2 spaces, because we're going to, if you do not put that, then you're just going to, it's going to be kind of a weird bug in the game. Alright, so we're going to do, for exclamation points is math, and we're going to scroll over to probability, and it's under number 4. And we're going to type that in twice. So math, probability 4. Okay, and then press enter. And then now we're going to output the score. So we're going to output 5, 5, and then open quotes, and then score. And then the colon is the dot at the bottom, and you're going to press enter. And now we're going to output the actual score, the number value. So press program, output 5, 12, and then S right there. So that's the score value. Enter, and the last line of the program is open quotes, so alpha plus. And that actually makes the program look neater and doesn't display that done message at the end, so that it just looks more formal as a program. Alright, so now to exit the editor, we're going to press second mode, and now press program, and the snake is right there. So this EXEC stands for execute, which means run, and we're going to press enter, and we're going to press enter one more time. And now we have a successful snake game. And as you can see, the food, there's 5 foods on the screen at once, so that the player does not get bored. And perhaps, let's say we die or run off the screen, it's going to say game over and your score. So if you guys do like this program, or if you want to know how to program anything else, just post in the comments, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be doing a lot of other things, even besides the calculator, maybe other programming tutorials, and maybe even a little gaming. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys all next time.